The water is not for fishing. The first rule everyone in Port Halcyon learned as a child was simple. The water is not for fishing. Tourists laughed when they heard it. They thought it was a local superstition, a gimmick to sell haunted boat tours and cheap t-shirts. But the fishermen, the few who still worked the gray docks, never laughed. They watched the horizon with tight jaws and salt-burned eyes, as if the ocean were listening. Eli had grown up on those docks. He'd heard the rule his entire life, whispered by his grandmother like a prayer. The water is not for fishing. It's for watching. She never explained what that meant. When he asked why, she'd just grip his wrist hard enough to hurt and say, "Because the water watches back." After she died, Eli found her old brass compass in a locked drawer. Etched into its face was a symbol he didn't recognize, a circle broken by 3 jagged lines, like claws tearing through metal. On the inside lid were 4 words scratched in shaky handwriting. "We keep them asleep." That night, the compass needle didn't point north. It pointed west, straight at the open ocean. Eli took his small trawler out before dawn. The harbor was silent except for the groan of ropes and the slap of black water against wood. A thick fog lay low on the surface, swallowing the lighthouse beam. He felt a pressure in his ears as he crossed the harbor mouth, like descending into deep water. The compass needle trembled, then steadied, west. He killed the engine and let the boat drift. The fog closed in, heavy and wet. The sea beneath him was too calm, a sheet of dark glass. He dropped a line overboard, half expecting his grandmother's ghost to rise and slap him. The hook never reached the bottom. The line kept unspooling. 50 meters, 100, 200. Eli frowned. The chart showed this stretch of water was shallow. His line should have hit sand long ago. Instead, it slid downward endlessly, the reel spinning with a soft metallic whine. Then it stopped. The line went taut. The boat lurched. Eli grabbed the rod as something below pulled with slow, deliberate strength. It wasn't the frantic thrashing of a fish. This was steady, curious, like a hand testing a doorknob. The water around the boat began to ripple, not with waves, but with movement beneath the surface, vast shapes gliding just out of sight. The sea darkened as if shadows were rising to meet him. His radio crackled to life. "It's Lee." "Eli, do you hear me?" It was Mara, the harbor master. Her voice sounded thin, stretched. "I'm out west," Eli said. "There's something wrong with the depth here." A long silence. Then, "You need to come back. Now." The water bulged upward beside the boat. A slick, black surface broke through, reflecting no light. It wasn't skin or scale. It looked like polished stone etched with the same clawed symbol as the compass. Eli's breath caught. The shape kept rising, revealing a curve too large to comprehend. His boat tilted as the ocean displaced around it. The thing beneath him wasn't surfacing. It was unfolding. The radio screamed with static. Through it, he heard chanting, dozens of voices layered together. Not from the radio, from below. The line in his hands twitched. Something climbed it. A pale limb breached the water, jointed wrong, bending in too many places. Fingers like needles gripped the line and pulled. A face followed, eyeless, smooth, its mouth a vertical slit that opened wider than seemed possible. More of them surfaced, clinging to the hull, their bodies slick and translucent. Through their skin, Eli saw faint lights pulsing like distant stars. They weren't attacking. They were studying him. The massive shape beneath the water shifted. Eli felt it in his bones. a vibration that rattled his teeth. The chanting grew louder. The creatures froze, their heads snapping downward in unison. The sea split. A gulf opened beneath the boat, the water peeling back to reveal a darkness so complete it swallowed sound. From that abyss rose an eye the size of his vessel, lidless and ancient. Its pupil was a spiraling void, drawing his gaze inward. In that instant, Eli understood. The monsters weren't invading from below. They were being held there. Images flooded his mind. Generations of Port Halcyon's people standing on the cliffs, performing rituals timed with the tides, offerings cast into the deep, songs sung to soothe what slept. His grandmother among them, her voice trembling as she sang lullabies to the abyss. We keep them asleep. The eye focused on him. A thought pressed into his skull, vast and cold. You have broken the rule. The creatures on the hull began to tremble. Their lights flickered wildly. The chanting turned frantic. Eli felt the ocean's patience thinning, like a rope, fraying strand by strand. I didn't know, he whispered. The abyss did not care. The eye widened. The darkness surged upward, and Eli saw cities built on the seafloor, Sikoi.